Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by SoundCloud Studios, brought to you by official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international war-ring author Mia Molson Missing, also brought to you by Illumnifigally, think tank of the future. The Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, based on the life of King David, now on Amazon, and Hayitan Music. Check our list at hayitanmusic.com. We're here with terrific gentleman from Spectra Music. He began his career playing harmonica on the streets of Brussels, Belgium at 21, and a decade later playing honky-tonk from the beaches of Spain to the French Quarter of New Orleans and on Belgium's oldest indie radio station. We'll talk more about that. He founded a not-for-profit Live in Line, organized over 200 concerts and jam sessions. He's been selected by Reverb Nation for the Richmond International Film Fest, winning Grand Jury Prize for the best music. And he has numerous followers on Spotify, Bandcamp, Apple, and more. He's part of Spectra Music. We'll be talking about the other side of the coin. Live, ladies and gentlemen, at Plus Studios in beautiful downtown, somewhere in New Orleans, the amazing composer, singer, songwriter with the other side of the coin from Spectra Music, the multi-talented Ruben Bertrands. Ruben, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Good evening, Mike. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking as well, too. Great to have you on board. You began your career playing harmonica on the streets of Brussels at 21, and a decade later, you're playing honky-tonk from the beaches of Spain to the French Quarter of New Orleans and on Belgium's oldest indie radio station. He founded a not-for-profit group called the Love in Line, organized over 200 concerts and jam sessions. You're selected by Reverb Nation for the Richmond International Film Fest, winning Grand Jury Prize for Best Music, plus numerous followers on all social media and music platforms. And you also have Blues Messenger, After Hours, and also Love and Blues. And you got the other side of the coin we'll talk about from Spectra Music. And before getting all that, Ruben, tell us how I first got started.
So I started as a street musician a long time ago. I bought a harmonica, and all of my favorite harmonica players started playing on the street. So it felt like a very normal way to start my harmonica career, playing on the streets in my hometown in Brussels. And gradually I started singing. I started a radio show because blues was my first love in music. And this was the indie radio station that you were talking about, Radio Scorpio. So I ran basically a radio show called Blues-a-Palooza for about 3-4 years, which culminated in a music festival called Live Blues. Then I founded a nonprofit called Live a Life when we organized a lot of jam sessions. So I come from a circuit where people give a lot of opportunities to people who need a stage. And the more that I did that, the more that I realized I wanted to be on the stage as well. That's when I became a street musician. So the other side of the coin is really an accumulation of my decade playing various stages, the streets, bars, from Belgium to Spain to New Orleans, where I'm right now. Yeah, just preaching the blues.
Mm-hmm. And certainly does as well, too, doing a really good job of it. And was at one precise moment that simply influenced you into what you're doing for the rest of your career?
Oh, it's a difficult question, man. I think it's always like you always have to live in the moment. So, for example, yesterday I was at I'm now in New Orleans. I was at the Dewdrop Inn, which is a pretty legendary venue. Ray Charles and Little Richard, Etta James used to sleep there in the segregation days because they couldn't get another hotel. And yeah, I played a little bit with the local musicians there, listened to some great music. For me, this is as valuable as anything that I experienced in the past. So I always am on the lookout for the next big thing. For example,
Mm-hmm.
tonight I'm going to Stevie Wonder tribute at Tipitina's, which features all of the greatest musicians that New Orleans has to offer. And I'm sure I will get something out of this as well.
Mm-hmm. And certainly did as well, too. And who are some of my other favorite singers, songwriters, and musicians growing up?
This really depends on the genre. Like if I have to name drop some Belgian musicians, I would say Deus is a very an amazing band, like a very interesting band also to check out. But I think Etta James is the root of all emotion and blues and music that I found when I was 21 and started playing music. So it ranges from local stuff to very old school things. I love Louis Armstrong and I know Ernie Cato, all this New Orleans stuff. But I don't know. It could be flamenco, it could be rockabilly. I'm not really pinned down to one genre. If I feel it, I feel it.
You've been on a journey as well, too, going from Brussels to Spain and also to New Orleans. And tell us more about your journey, how you got from Brussels over to Spain and you end up in New Orleans. And if there's other points between, feel free to do so.
Well, basically, I quit my nonprofit in 2019, and we were doing multiple jam sessions and concerts a week, a lot of organization work, a lot of playing. And I became a street musician, and I moved to Italy. Then when it got cold in Italy during the winter, I moved to the Canary Islands. I stayed there for a bit. Then I got caught during the pandemic, because everybody was caught in the same place, and I was there, so I decided to stay. And I spent 2 years busking, like playing on the street for the locals, which means monetary wise, that's never, a good thing, but it made me hone my craft and learn a lot of new songs. And that led to recording albums and interpreting things. Yeah, I think if you keep doing things for a long time, it will become something natural. So I think that's what happened.
And certainly as well, too, you've got your own music as well, too. Blues Messenger, After Hours, Love and Blues, and plus some releases from the other side of the coin. We talk about that with the multi-talented Ruben Bertrands from Spectra Music. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com. It's powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a If you are looking for a professional website without breaking your budget, Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give an official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those who love be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved and endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes, Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for it goes Missing by Mia Molson-Zia. That's available on Amazon. Also, the Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Illumniptical, the think tank of the future, brings scientists and engineers together from all over the world, creating a method to construct a renewable generator. This unique product operates on a closed-loop system, generating more energy internally that needs to function. The extra electricity can be used to run everything from homes, power grids, phones, laptops. The power source is renewable, highly scalable, and most importantly, self-regenerating. For more information, visit facebook.com/Illumniptical. That's Ellumeniptical today. Also, Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, based on the life of David, including 30 exquisite paintings in King David Psalms. The Sweet Psalmist gives us a new perspective of David through the Psalms he wrote and his time as a shepherd, where it started, and his complicated yet turbulent relationship with King Saul. It's a story of love, hope, repentance, betrayal, and more. Check out the Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner on Amazon. Keyword Sweet Psalmist Serena Wagner. Also brought to you by Hi-Tan Music, featuring the smash hit Baby Come Back, and new music coming soon. Check it out, hitanmusic.com. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com on any mobile device. Make sure you take us with you. 40 podcast platforms, heard in 100 countries. Make sure you subscribe to each, every one, YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, and more as well. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies, makes great gifts 24/7. Go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And if you're looking for merchandise, email me to the Mike Wagner Show at gmail.com. Also, got some great merchandise and books from me and Molson-Zia on Amazon. You can check that as well. And support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. We're here with the amazing, multi-talented Ruben Bertrands from Spectra Music on the Mike Wagner Show. And before we talk about the other side of the coin, we'll be playing Big Wave and Going Down Slow at the end of the audio interview. We encourage everybody to do that. You also have Blues Messenger, After Hours, and Love and Blues. And tell us more about those.
Well, Live Blues is a festival that I organized It features about like 50 local and international musicians. The interesting thing is this is how I met the producer of The Other Side of the Coin. So I organized it with an anesthesiologist who's also a bass player. He brought over a guy called U Pool. So U Pool is a New York City Blues Hall of Famer. And in his studio, Excel recording in Greenpoint, New York City. And that's the first time I met U Pool. He's also the first guy that made me lose my voice.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a rock and roll guy. So this is what happens. So basically, Live Blues was the catalyst for the profit organization that I started. After Hours is an let's say a more country approach to writing music. These are all originals. I recorded this with my good friend Pedro Fonseca, who's a producer in Barcelona. So during the pandemic, I went to Barcelona and recorded at his house. Blues Messenger is a more blues approach, so covers of, let's say, traditional blues standards. Yeah, that I recorded with a friend of mine called Jonas Boymans in his studio. But the other side of the coin, we did a Kickstarter. We did a real professional studio recording. All the songs are basically recorded live with a bunch of great musicians who I should name as well. You got Nathan Goossens on drums, Geert Zonderman on bass, Osgur Hazard on guitar, and Tom Ehrenbosch on piano. U Pool features on the album as well as famous jazz musician from New York called Rotem Sivan. And yeah, we just made the tracks how we felt it. So there's no click tracks, there's no overdubs. It's only what we felt in the moment.
And of course, you talked about a lot of blues as well too. Who are your some favorite blues artists growing up?
Well, I'm a harmonica player, so I would say Little Walter, Big Walter, Charlie Musselwhite, the usual suspects. But I've always had a thing for the female voice. So when, for example, I was putting some songs in the jukebox here at the Brothers Inn Lounge where I'm hanging out right now, and that's Nina Simone, Etta James, Irma Thomas, all that kind of stuff. And I think a woman singing the blues always hits you in a different way.
It certainly does as well too. Etta James is one of my favorites, and got to listen to her as well too, and it really does hit as well too. Let's go back to the other side of the coin as
Mhm.
well too. Before we talk about your two hits, we'll be playing at the end of the audio interview. You have Jumping Turnstiles. You also have Cafe de Levante. I hope I got that right, and also
Café de Levante. Yeah.
yeah, that's it. And then you also had
Mm.
the Belle of the Berg and Review and more. And tell us more about those songs.
So every song is basically based on a place that means something for me. Café de Levante is a bar in Cadiz, in Spain, in Andalusia, which is an amazing place with a great flamenco history. Big Wave is about a wave that almost drowned me in Las Palmas. Belle of the Bog is about an experience that I had in a bar with an elder woman that was obviously too old to be there, but still wanted to feel young. Um, and so everything has for me a place in history, and they're all based on different locations. For example, Jumping Turnstiles is about New York City. If you listen to the track closely, you can hear the recordings that I did of the New York City subway. And yeah, there's different elements of my travels incorporated into the album.
And there's also another one too. It's called Aunt Mimi's Off Her Meds. I like that one.
Yeah, so this is actually quite good because I'm in New Orleans right now, and there's a great HBO series called Treme, and Aunt Mimi is one of the characters in this series. And in a certain episode, she goes off her meds.
Hmm.
So I thought we needed a funk track on the album. So the way that we recorded this, originally I'm singing on this, but I cut my own vocals off the track, and this makes it a long instrumental, but I'm actually guiding the musicians into their solos. But you can't hear this, but you can feel it, which is I guess what happens when Aunt Mimi's off her mess.
I guess we'll just find that out when we have people check out the other side of the coin. And speaking of the other side of the coin,
Huh.
we'll talk about the two songs that we're going to be featuring on the program at the end of the audio interview. We'll get to that in just 1 minute. You're listening to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by SoundCloud Studios, brought to you by official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson Missing. Also brought to you by Illumnifically, think tank of the future. The Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, based on the life of King David, now on Amazon. Also, High-10 Music. Check our latest at high10music.com. We'll be back with the multi-talented singer, songwriter, musician, Ruben Bertrands from Spectra Music after this timeout. We're back with the multi-talented Ruben Bertrands of Spectra Music here on the Mike Wagner Show, talking about the other side of the coin and the two songs we will be featuring at the end of the audio interview. Encourage everybody to go to that. You got Big Wave and also Going Down Slow, and tell about those songs and what inspired you to write them.
So Big Wave is the single of the album. Basically, on my last day in Las Palmas, when I was about to leave the islands after living there for 2 years, I went for my last swim because Las Palmas is a place where the beach is incorporated into the city. It's like a 10-kilometer beach that is basically the end of the islands. And I went for a swim, but the water was pretty wild. So I took off all my stuff, put it like next to my backpack, and I was in the water, but there was a huge wave coming, big wave, and it took my backpack into the water.
Oh no.
So I had to swim after it, and people were like, "Oh, so there's harmonicas floating in the water." I've been living there for 2 years at that moment, so everybody knows me. So they're all trying to help me gather my stuff, but I'm soaked. My stuff is soaked, so I have to walk through the city back to my apartment where I'm staying. Yeah, and this is what inspired this song. It was originally called Big Wave Took My Baby, but I shortened it to Big Wave because I worked for the radio as well, and you don't want to say too many things, and Big Wave is better than Big Wave Took My Baby. Yeah, so that's where it comes from.
Oh my gosh, that seems rather inspiring as well. I think we'll have to do that one day. Is I have to keep it to myself though here. So oh my gosh. Be careful when going to big wave, folks. You never know what's gonna happen. And plus you got Going Down Slow as well. And tell us more about that one.
So Going Down Slow is a pretty classic blues song. So I've been interpreting blues on the streets for a long time, as in I've been a street musician for over a decade, and I still am. Whenever I have the chance, I will still play the streets that I like. And for example, now in the French Quarter, I really enjoy playing there because it's the roots of the music that I love. So Going Down Slow is just a standard shuffle that we recorded at Studio Fandango in Belgium, and then we did some work on it at Excella Recording with U Pool. Redid the vocals, added some slide guitar. Yeah, and I'm really happy with the result.
That is so amazing what you got there. It's like going from one to the other, which is great. And where can we find the other side of the coin and all your music at, Ruben?
Well, we're on every platform, so that's Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon. My website is rubenbertrands.com, and through Spectra, you can always find my contact information.
Okay. All right. We'll certainly check those out. Here at the multi-talented Ruben Bertrands of Spectra Music here on the Mike Wagner Show with the other side of the coin. And again, we'll play a big wave and Going Down Slow at the end of the audio interview. Encourage everybody to do so. And speaking of that, what else can we expect in 2024 going into 2025, Ruben?
So I just came back from the Richmond International Film Festival, where I was for the second time, which is a great place to be. I hope to be back in Richmond for the Folk Fest next year. We'll see how that evolves. I'm going on tour in Spain with a guitar player called Damian Dominguez.
Mm-hmm.
So we're playing the Canary Islands. We're doing a great show in a theater on the 16th of October. And it's also going to be recorded. Then I have some gigs in Belgium in November, about 5 or 6, a couple of full band gigs, a couple of duo gigs. And then basically the playing field is open. So I'd love to bring my music to any place that is willing to, groove to the blues, jazz, country, folk, funk that we bring.
That is so amazing. I forgot to mention about the Richmond International Film Fest. You won the grand jury prize for best music. I totally forgot about that. I need to hear more about it.
That's okay. No, so I got selected through Reverb Nation in 2022, and it was a great experience meeting a lot of filmmakers. I think we're all in the same kind of boat. Like if you're trying to sell a product or like something that is your life's work, there that are pitching an idea or a feeling that they have. And I found this very inspiring to be around, and I made a lot of great friends while I was there. Now that I came back this year, yeah, it was amazing to play with. We did a Choco session, which is in Choco Bottom at In Your Ear Studio. You can find that on YouTube as well. With a local guitar player called Rain. Amazing cat, very young, plays everything you can imagine. And yeah, we went to the after party of the folk festival, which was at the Hilton Hotel in Richmond, where there were Colombian brass musicians playing with bluegrass artists.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it was incredible. So great experience to be, you know, to be a part of this is I think a blessing, and this is where inspiration comes from. That you gather as much experience as you can, and it will come to fruition in one way or another. And I think that's the reason why the other side of the coin is not just blues; it's the accumulation of all the experiences that I had in my life. Just
Hmm.
as I'm about to head to Stevie Wonder tribute, this will also come back in some form or another.
That's certainly great as well, too. We'll look get to that as well. Hope you have a great time. Give us a good report when we have you back on. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Um, oh, it's a difficult question, man. I think as a harmonica player, I have to mention a guy called Steven de Bruin, who goes under Steve Harpo when he plays the harp. He had a band called Elfish. They've evolved into the Rhythm Junks. Now he plays under his own name, Steven de Bruin. Yeah, that's. I think if there is an heir to the throne of Toots Tielemans, who was Belgium's greatest harmonica player, that's the one.
That certainly is amazing. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Keep going. Yeah, you have to keep going. There's no other way. What someone once told me is that there's no need in worrying about whether what you do is good. Consistency is way more important than talent. So I've been playing music every day for the last decade, and I've been getting better every day. So that's kind of the thing. You never stop learning, and you never stop playing.
You
And
got that right. And I
it
think
takes
that's a
about it takes about 10, 15, 20 years to really get it going, but then you will reap the rewards of your labor.
hmm That's certainly amazing advice as well, too, as we keep on going here with the multi-talented Ruben Bertrands from Spectra Music Group with the other side of the coin here on the Mike Wagner Show. Ruben, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date.
Thank
Keep
you,
in
my friend.
touch. We love having you back. And what's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or check out your music?
So basically, all my music is on Spotify, on Apple Music, on every platform that you can imagine. You're able to purchase it, stream it. We're looking at a way to press vinyls, but of course, it's a costly affair, and CDs are a bit of a dying breed. So we're looking into that. But for now, you can find me on the internet.
All right. Well, certainly check that out. Once again, Ruben, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We love it. Be back. We wish you all best. And Ruben, you definitely have a great future ahead.
Thank you, baby.